Reflections from Torch Trust, focusing on Christian faith and sight loss.
Hello and a warm welcome to Reflections, the show from Torch Trust that focuses on faith and disability in today's world. I'm your host, Marilyn Baker, and I'm so glad you've tuned in today. We've got a great show lined up for you as we explore the world of accessible sports with British Blind Sport CEO Alaina McGregor. As regular listeners may know, the International Blind Sport Federation is holding its World Games in Birmingham later this month. There's a real buzz around the Games and we can't wait to support Team GB. So we've invited British Blind Sport CEO Alaina McGregor onto the show to tell us more.
I am pleased to be joined by Alaina today from British Blind Sport, and we're going to be talking about some exciting games that are coming to Birmingham this August, isn't that right?
That's right. It's the IBSA World Games from the 18th to the 27th of August, being at University of Birmingham, being held there.
So how did you come to get involved in this?
Well, IBSA is the International Blind Sport Federation. It's a bit confusing because it's an A at the end rather than F, so people think it's an association, but it's actually a federation, and it's the international body representing blind and partially sighted sport. And we are the affiliated member for Great Britain. There's only one affiliated member per country, and there is 70 countries at the moment who are members of IBSA. And every 4 years, they do invite the countries to host the next World Games. So back in 2019, we put ourselves forward against 2 other countries. We were very successful. And what we didn't plan for was COVID and a cost of living crisis. So obviously that's put additional stresses on us, but it is going to be the biggest World Games that's ever been held. And IBSA know that too, so we're quite excited.
Oh, that's fantastic. So what sort of sports are taking place?
We have 10 sports. 3 of them are going to be actually pre-Paralympic qualifiers for Paris 2024, which is goalball, blind football and judo. So they come with a bit of kudos around them because there's, really popular international Paralympic sports. But on top of that, we have other sports that are things like cricket. We've got many countries participating in that. Tennis, fast-growing sport, played internationally too. Showdown, which is a sport really loved by a lot of people with sight loss, and we're really keen to develop it in this country, and it's been a real good opportunity to showcase that. We've got archery, we've got 10-pin bowling, we've got chess. We've got 10 in total, and I feel like I may have missed one out. And powerlifting, there we go, we've got powerlifting as well. So we've got a whole rack of sports, but what's really good about that is that sports that meet different people's needs, etc. I mean, a lot of people that do 10-pin bowling are some of our older community, and certainly with chess as well, where some of the faster paced sports like goalball, you'll see younger people participating predominantly, certainly at an elite level, which is nice because we want to be as inclusive as possible.
And thinking of inclusivity, and knowing that sight loss is a real spectrum, isn't it? How do you ensure that works with these different sports? Is it with goalball? Does everyone wear a mask to block the sight?
Yeah, you have to wear shades, and that's the same with blind football, and that's set by the IBC, the International Paralympics Committee. But you need to be a B1 to play those sports anyway, so you would be living with severe sight loss. Or complete loss of sight to be participating in them. So definitely you'd have to be a B1. Some sports, people don't wear shades, and there's many reasons for that. I mean, I worked with equestrian maybe 6 years ago now that for Paralympic sport, they wanted riders to wear shades. Well, to be fair, if you've been practicing and training without shades on, then suddenly you go into competition with shades on. You're not like a footballer who's kicking a ball. You've got a 600-pound animal underneath you that responds to your every moment and every movement and your anxiety. So we worked long and hard with other organisations to say shades in some sports should be a choice, and some it's mandatory. But yeah, I mean, there's many sports that you don't wear shades at all, and that's absolutely fine too.
We'll be hearing more from Alaina in just a few minutes, but first it's time for our thought for the week. This week's thought is brought to us by our producer, Grace Dawson, who's been musing on all the changes that life brings.
Change is a certainty. I mean, if there is one thing we can guarantee in this world, it is that there will be change. This is a lesson I've learned a few times, and still one that is easily forgotten. Humans are creatures of habit. We build up an idea, a set of rules, a framework for how we think our lives should be, and we cling on to it. But lo and behold, it is whipped out from under us like a tablecloth in a magician's show. Change will find us. Sometimes change can be a pretty comforting notion. Years ago, when I had just left school and was struggling to find my way, my mum kept on reminding me that things would change. That which made no sense would fall into place. Problems that seemed impossible would be resolved. My mum repeated this mantra to me so often that she eventually declared my theme song was Changes by David Bowie. I'd never had a theme song before, so it was an interesting idea. Turn and face the strange, says the song. Changes are taking the pace I'm going through. Indeed, I've never let go of that thought. Change will come, and all we must do is face it. The Bible speaks of the notion of change and God's will that we continue to grow many times. Isaiah chapter 43, verses 18 to 19 tells us that the Lord has said, "Do not dwell on the past. See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the desert and streams in the wasteland." Romans chapter 12, verse 2 says, "Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, his good, pleasing, and perfect will." So change might be scary or strange. It might challenge ideas that we hold at the very core of our beings. But you know what? That's okay. It's okay to change, to learn from new information, and throw away old, outdated thoughts that are keeping us down, that are hurting ourselves or others. Because change is growth. It's part of our journey through the world, and it will come.
Yes, life certainly is full of change, isn't it? A lot has happened since the pandemic, I think, especially for people like me who were in an itinerant ministry. We're doing a lot more online now, including a summer concert on YouTube on the 17th of August. But that would have been unheard of 3 years ago. It would have always been to a live audience. Anyway, you can go to our website, mbm-ministries.org, to find the link. Hope you can join us. And now it's time to go back to Alaina McGregor from British Blind Sport as she shares how the public can enjoy the upcoming International Blind Sport Federation World Games.
And what sort of coverage is there going to be of the games? Is it something people can listen into, or are there tickets available? How can people get involved?
Definitely we can get tickets. So they will be going on sale on the World Games website, which is IBSA World 2023.co.uk. But yeah, if you're not sure, always contact British Blind Sport. You'll find us on the internet, you'll find us on our social media, and we will direct people to get tickets. In terms of spectating, what you asked me another question there.
Whether there's coverage, could people listen in or?
So RNIB Connect are going to be there for the whole of the games.
Fantastic.
RNIB are our main sponsors. They are the lead sponsor of the event. So RNIB will be doing their own coverage from their own wider group, which is great. Sky Sports have shown interest, so they will be highlighting 3 sports. We know we've got local radio to Birmingham. They're coming on a number of days. And we've got media accreditation from across the world. In fact, if anything, we're trying to say, we can't have too many journalists. I think we're up to about 80,
wow.
Which is quite scary at the moment. So we're just juggling how that's manageable on site. So yeah, there will be international world coverage, which is really exciting. We've got another sponsor who are sponsoring the live streaming of the football. So the main sports will all be live streamed for all of their matches. So you can watch them either on the IBSA channel, on the British Blind Sport channel, or various other channels, people like RNIB, I'm sure will be picking up on that as well. So there's many ways that you can consume the event, and obviously visit. We just want you to come.
Yeah. Oh, it sounds fantastic. I don't know about you, but for me, it feels like ever since London 2012, with the Paralympics, there's been more interest in disability sport. Is that something you've seen?
Yeah, definitely. I think, because I was involved in the local organising committee of 2012, and we knew that we would be shifting the compass in terms of what people thought about disability sport as a whole, and we have done that, but I don't think we've done it far enough. There's still many inroads that we need to make, particularly around coaches. People go to university, they learn to become a PE teacher, but do they learn about the different techniques and things that they need to do for every disability group? There needs to be more work in those sort of areas. There needs to be more embracing children with disabilities to be able to participate in sport in primary school. We often hear of children who were sat on the bench because the teachers didn't know what to do with them. My own daughter included. My daughter has an impairment. It's not sight loss, but for somebody who works in sport, that was shocking for me. Probably not the best person to go down and speak to the head teacher, but I certainly made sure there was changes in that primary school. But it's we've still got a long way to go. And then we had the pandemic, and we know that it has disproportionately affected disabled people across the board. And we know that as a result of that, sport and physical activity had to take a back seat for many people, and we're now trying to grow people's confidence again. And hopefully something like this Games will show people you don't have to be a Paralympian, but you can get out and enjoy what you want to do. We're working in partnership with the RNAB at the moment on a wonderful project called See Sport Differently, and that's really demonstrating that whatever age you are and whatever your capability at the moment, you can just do something. I mean, I'm not a sporty person, but going out and walking my dog, doing a bit of gardening, maybe going swimming once a week, and just getting out there and enjoying feeling fit, and that's a good feeling.
Oh, that is fantastic. Thank you so much for your time, and hopefully that's an encouragement to all of us. We've been told where we can get directed, and we'll make sure that the links are up for people if they're listening online. Thank you.
Thank you. Take care.
Well, I'm sorry to say that we're almost out of time for today. Don't forget the IBSA World Games will be taking place from the 18th to the 27th of August at the University of Birmingham. You can find tickets and information on attending on www.ibsagames2023.co.uk, www.ibsagames2023.co.uk. And you can also find out how to watch or listen to the games there as well. If you'd like to find out more about anything Torch offers for blind and partially sighted people, including our accessible lending library or our network of fellowship groups, please do get in touch. The number to call is 01858 438 260. That's 01858 438 260, or email info@torchtrust.org. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram by searching for Torch Trust, or visit our website torchtrust.org. We'll be back again next week with another uplifting show. But until then, from me, Marilyn and everyone on the Reflections team, goodbye and God bless.
You've been listening to Reflections from Torch Trust.